Hello there, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you're seeing us, or wherever you're tuned in into this program, just know that it is the first episode of my show with Steve. It's our show together, and it's the episode one of the Gunners and Mags. Hey, Steve. I have no other person than Steve to grace the show. Steve, you're welcome, man. It's our first episode one. Gunners and Mags. You're welcome, bro.
Yeah. No, yeah. Thank you for having me on. This is gonna be a good show, good series. Let's see.
Good series.
Let's get right into it.
Let's walk straight right into it because see, there's lots of action. See, just last weekend alone, the action, Steve, the action in the Premiership. Holy moly! I couldn't believe my eyes.
Yeah.
At what happened in the Premiership. But you know what? Since it's our show together, I, I'll let you just take a lead with what happened. Just start it all up for us.
Lots and lots of madness. Probably the most notable one being the Leeds win at Anfield for the first time with a crowd at Anfield since 2016-17. That was obviously the big headliner, but then you've also got the likes of Brighton beating the brakes off of Chelsea 4-1.
Oh my God.
Newcastle United making another statement of intent with an eerily strange scoreline of 4-0. And I say that it's eerie because I made a video a few days before the game saying we have a chance at top 4. And what do Newcastle go and do? We go and score 4. Maybe this is a sign that I'm not
so sign, right?
Maybe it is. Maybe we could have won the game 1-0 or 2-0, but we stopped at 4.
At 4, and Newcastle actually did that without Sir Maxima,
and Alexander Isak.
I think it was in the bench.
Isak is injured till the World Cup, but
till the end
Allen
of the
was
World
on the
Cup.
bench. Shelby is just coming back from his hamstring injury, which has kept him.
Man, you guys still have straight out killers out there, man. Like your killers haven't even come into the mix yet.
Yeah, some of them
is off right now. John Joe Shelby, I think he's been on the treatment table for how many months now?
He hasn't played for us a Premier League game this season, a full 90. He made his first appearance of the year against Spurs off the bench for the last 5-10 minutes or whatever it was, and we did the same thing with him against Aston Villa on Saturday. So we're just getting him warmed up after his hamstring problems. So that's quite a scary proposition considering we've had 24 points in our 13 Premier League matches, which I did some research and I found a post. The 6 times that Newcastle United in the Premier League have reached the 24-point mark by the 13th Premier League match, every single time we have achieved top 6. The highest.
Wow.
Second place.
Wow. No. Run that back again. Man, that is a big stat. It's a big statistics, right? Just run it back again and say it slowly so that anyone who is hearing it right now could just, catch a grip.
So Newcastle United have picked up 24 points from their opening 13 Premier League matches for the 5th time in our history in the Premier League era. In each and every occasion, Newcastle have finished in the top 6. So in 1994, 6th place was the result after 24 from 13 games. 1995-96, we finished 2nd. That was the year before Alan Shearer, I believe.
Before Alan Shearer, arrived.
I believe Alan Shearer showed up in 96-97, if I'm not mistaken. And then we did the same feat with him. We finished 2nd place in 96-97. In 2011-12, we finished 5th. because that was the year where we had Johan Cabaye, Papi Cisse,
Yeah, Johan Cabaye,
David
and some
Santon, Tim
other
Krul,
hard
Ben
hitters
Arfa.
there.
Yep, Ben Arfa.
I think James Milner was also there at the time.
No, he left in 2008.
He left
spent
2008, right?
Yeah, Milner spent 4 years with us from 2004, 2008, if I'm not mistaken. But
by the way, just a tricky question.
Yeah.
Will you consider James Milner as a Newcastle legend?
Legend, maybe not, no, but certainly someone that I don't have any ill will towards now. He's a model professional, you know. Yeah. He's definitely someone that I think Newcastle fans appreciate at the time. So not a legend per se. A legend for me would be Alan Shearer, Ginola, Naby Solano.
Those hard hitters.
Jonas Gutierrez.
Gutierrez.
Likes of that. And then if I had to throw someone in the bracket for us who play with us nowadays, Bruno Guimarães is off to a hot.
If that guy, listen, if that guy Guimarães actually keeps his head down, just listen to Eddie Howe. Keep going with his gameplay. Keep his pressing game going on. Keep scoring more goals as he's doing right now. He's on course to become a Newcastle legend.
Same thing with Sven Botman.
Is a favorite, in St. James Park.
100%. 100% facts, bro. And same thing with Sven Botman. Same thing with Miggy Almiron. The thing about Miggy Almiron, Newcastle fans have always appreciated.
We will get to Almiron later on, because that's a whole different picture that we have to paint, for our viewers today. Because of course, this is Gunners and Mags, and Almiron just scored his 7th goal of the season for Newcastle United. That's big. It's never happened for Almiron, ever before in this league. Before Almiron, I respect that striker, but for him to get 7 goals this season deserves a painted picture. And who else, will paint that picture on glass than you? Can you take us through that game with Newcastle in the weekend?
Yeah. So starting off in the first half, right? So.
Yeah,
it was very chippy. Yeah, it was very, very So it was very chippy in the first half because, and I've talked about this on a few other shows I've been this weekend and in the season in general. The thing is, teams are coming to St. James's Park, and they have done their homework about Newcastle and the free-flowing football that we are able to produce on a consistent basis, regardless of the opponent, whether that's Man City at home or if it's Aston Villa at home per se. Yeah. So Aston Villa knew that they could not replicate the performance that they had against Brentford, or at least it was very unlikely to do so, because when we're at home, there are 15 to 20 minute spells that we have where we regularly have about 80% of the ball. The opponent's touches on the ball and in the box are slim to none. So teams coming to St. James's Park, they can't play necessarily the way they want to play unless you're talking about a Manchester United. City.
I'm sorry, but again, Aston Villa could actually fancy their chances. Just 2 weekends ago, they they smashed up Brentford 4-0. So when you're coming to a place like St. James Park, of course you're going to receive a very, very hostile reception down there. But they will fancy the chances against you. They just
because they're on a new
London club 4-0. You'll definitely fancy the chances.
They feel good going into the week.
James Park to try and run you guys ragged.
But then the problem is when the whistle blows, they and Newcastle get a few early opportunities, they realize, fuck, we can't be as adventurous and expansive attacking because they are taking the game to us. We need to break up the play with fouls. We need to win 50-50s in midfield and wherever around the park. We cannot, absolutely cannot be adventurous like we're at home. Teams have to come to St. James's Park nowadays and bunker down and try to just stop us. And that favors us, obviously, because then they pick up yellow cards. They pick up fouls, free kicks. We have Trippier for free kicks. If you're in trouble on a yellow card as a defender and Miggy Almiron is on one side and Joe Linton is on the other and Wilson in the middle with the form that they're all in, it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare to come to cross paths with us at St. James's Park, especially
at this time. You can't deny that fact, actually.
And that's what happened in the first half. They were trying to be, time waste. They were trying to foul us. They were trying to they would try to get forward
physical,
a little
right?
bit.
It was physical.
They were trying to get forward a little bit. But nothing was happening. Nothing was happening because Joe Linton would drop back into midfield and hustle people off the ball. Douglas Luiz and him were involved, had a very, a physical battle. And ultimately Joe Linton won that. But, so the first half,
Linton is a legitimate bully. Like, he's a bully.
He is a bully, bro. He's not someone you want to cross paths with, just like this team. So anyways, first half, like I said, very chippy. Villa were fouling a lot. They had little chances here. We were getting some all right opportunities, but not an amazing first half because the whistle was blowing a lot, and Buendia would just flop like a salmon and stay on the ground and beg for fouls and stuff. And they were trying to time kill. The only time that they did not time kill, and that wasn't time killing, was it was an incident with Tyrone Mings and Emi Martinez, who started the game for them.
Emi Martinez,
Yes. So Tyrone Mings was chasing a ball down, and Emi Martinez was as well. And I believe Callum Wilson was the other one. They wanted to save it for a goal kick or a corner or whatever. So Tyrone Mings, as klutzy and clumsy as he is, he accidentally knees Emi Martinez to the side of the head.
Yeah.
Medics check him out for about, I think, 3 or 4 minutes. They deemed him, mentally okay enough in terms
to continue the game, right?
In terms of the concussion, like the test where you see the eyes, you can follow the eyes. What day is it? Where are you at? Who is, those kind of questions. So they deemed him fit enough to continue on the game. But I think it was about 5 or 10 minutes later, could be off about the minutes. Martinez went down to stop a tame shot. He went down and covered the ball, and he didn't get up right away. He was clearly showing some signs of fogginess, which is a sign of a concussion, where his body language looked very awkward. It looked like there was a concussion situation. So they had to, justifiably and correctly so, take time to address that situation, and they subbed on Robin Olsen. So that's why there was 10 minutes of added on time, along with some of their time-wasting tactics. So that is what it is. I'm not mad that they time-wasted, because ultimately we got a penalty, and I believe the 47th minute, it was a Ashley Young handball, which was very, very blatant penalty. Refs called it. VAR checked it out for a minute or two, and, Ashley Young and his attempts to talk to the ref that it wasn't a penalty, it didn't work. So Callum Wilson steps up, slots the penalty, bam. And then the last 5 or so minutes of the extra time in the first half, we were all over them. And we continued that momentum towards the second half, where it was it was all us. It was entirely
all you guys.
Newcastle United dominated. And the party got kicked off with the I believe it was Callum Wilson in the 56th minute, if I'm not mistaken. And then it got even worse and even worse and even worse for Aston Villa. They were absolutely annihilated.
They were annihilated. They were
It was so
by Newcastle.
it was so simple. It was so simple to pick them apart. Literally, their defense had this high line for some reason, and even when they dropped back, Bruno could pick balls over them.
He could pick balls. He could lift those balls.
Wilson.
And mind you, Guimarães thrives in those type of gameplay that defenders are not really that coordinated, because he's that kind of midfielders that like to throw lots of through balls for the strikers. Yeah. Of course, Wilson, Joelinton, out there creating chaos in and about the 18-yard box of Aston Villa. And of course, Joelinton and Wilson's their gameplay off the ball is something to be desired,
because they're
always running.
They work their bollocks off. They work like box to box center mids, bro. And essentially, Trippier plays as another winger. We essentially in attack are a 3-3-4, and even sometimes Dan Burn. We were really Newcastle were we were sharks circling around a corpse. We smelt blood in the water. And even Dan Burn was coming up. Fabian Schär would step up in midfield and distribute to whoever. And he just kept pounding and pounding and pounding. They had I can't even remember. They didn't have a shot on target. They did not have a shot. They had 3 shots, no shots on target, none.
Okay. See, that's a question I want to ask.
Real quick.
If Guimarães gets injured right now, because is a focal point of your midfield. Without that guy this season, you guys wouldn't have gone ahead to bully these teams, and of course he's now showing that he's a goal threat. Game after game, he's scoring goals. He's helping he's helping the team galvanize. He's pressing. He walks off the ball. Walks his socks off.
Scores goals too.
That's what I'm saying. If Guimarães gets injured right now, do you have a like-for-like replacement for Guimarães right now?
Like for like,
I want you to be very, very honest.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But what I can say about Newcastle is we're not a one-man show, because we have achieved results against teams without Bruno under Eddie Howe. We have, because Bruno Guimarães, let me check out the games that he wasn't in the starting 11. I believe the game against Liverpool, he wasn't there. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he wasn't there, and you guys missed him in that game against Liverpool because.
But we still competed, but we still competed with Liverpool through.
You competed with them, but something was missing in the middle of the park.
It was, yes.
Something was missing. So right now, for instance, because everyone Arsenal have been on the back end of this theories, like if Thomas Partey gets injured.
Yeah.
If one of our midfielders, that have been performing this season, like Thomas Partey, like a Granit Xhaka, that will be in trouble. But I genuinely see that if you have an injury right now with Guimarães, with a player like Joelinton, I sincerely see you guys struggling this season.
So the thing about that, right? When you initially asked me about the like for like, I'm technically wrong in that, because Jonjo Shelvey.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to pick your head, because I want to see if you have squad depth. So that's what I'm trying to see, if I could pick your head about it.
Right. So the thing with Bruno is we don't necessarily have a like for like replacement in terms of this guy is as good as Bruno. Jonjo Shelvey is a marvelous footballer, but he's not at the level of Bruno Guimarães. He performs very well for us, and last year when we had him, he was in the midfield with Joelinton and Bruno, and that's when we were getting these big results. So that's the thing about these injuries is, if Bruno fractures an ACL and he misses the rest of the year, we ain't making top 4. But if it's something like he misses a game or two, I'm not going to sweat it that much, because we have John Joe coming back to full fitness, and Eddie Howe slowly introducing him back into the team. So it would be a concern, absolutely, if it was a long-term injury for Bruno. But if we miss him for 1, 2, 3, 4 games, I still think we could pick up wins. Maybe not against a big six side like Chelsea at home, but we could draw that game if Shelvey was in there, and it was a midfield three of Shelvey, Joe Linton, and Joe Willock, for example. Your point is partly correct in the fact that, yes, if Bruno gets injured, it depends how long he's injured for.
But again, John Joe Shelvey is
a decent player.
Is a decent player. Like
he can do some of the things Bruno does, but he's not at Bruno's level.
See, we really have to be fair on John Joe Shelvey. I like the dude. He's strong. He can outmark people. He's a runner. He's a good runner off the ball.
He's got some beautiful ball. He'll drop back sometimes and ping out balls.
Not sometimes. He drops back to help the team.
And they're like they're very, very quality passing. I'm just saying, and here's an example I'll give you that will illustrate what the difference between a Bruno Guimarães and a Shelvey is. Bruno Guimarães starts for Arsenal. Would he?
Yeah.
Instead of Xhaka? Or who would you? Who in that
man, Granit Xhaka's form this season. See, if you were telling me about this last season,
would you play Bruno as a 10?
I'll think about it.
Because Bruno can play as a 10. Would you? Yeah. Is that an upgrade over Odegaard?
I'll consider him, but mind you, Odegaard is our captain. So I don't know if
maybe Arsenal's a bad example.
Captain for Guimarães.
Chelsea, does he start for Chelsea?
Obviously.
Bruno G. Does he start for Liverpool? Thiago, Fabinho, Bruno instead of a Henderson, Milner, or Curtis Jones or Harvey Elliott?
Jones. Yeah, obviously.
So Bruno starts for Liverpool, Chelsea. Does he start for Manchester United over an Eriksen? There's a debate to be had.
No. There's no debate. He'll start over Eriksen.
So there's 3 of the big 6. I'll start. Tottenham. Does he start for Bruno Guimarães?
That's a tough ask.
Considering they need a creative midfielder.
I know, but that's a very, very tough ask because they have a Kulusevski around. They have a Bentancur.
Kulusevski's a winger, though.
He's a winger, but he could also play in that area that
attacking mid, possibly. Yeah,
something like that. He could also.
Does he start over for you, Højbjerg? Considering they already have muscle in there in terms of Bentancur.
I think Grim. You know
what I'm saying.
The problem with Guimarães is that Guimarães is also more of an attacking. It's more.
But he can also. But also, what I'll say about Bruno is he tracks back as well, and he contributes a lot. He drops.
There's a difference when you track back and when you're a defensive midfielder and when you're an attacking midfielder.
But he played at Lyon. He played primarily as a CDM in a 3-1. In a 4-1. 3-2
formation, right?
No, sorry, 4-2-3, 4-2-3-1. Sorry, that's what Lyon played mostly.
Well, he's a very dynamic player. Yeah. He's a very dynamic player.
Yeah, he can play as a 8 or 10 for me.
Of course, and that's why he always gets into goal scoring up, positions. And see, if Guimarães isn't scoring, is also creating spaces for shooters and killers to just.
He's drawing fouls. He's drawing fouls.
That's what makes his game dynamic.
He attracts bodies onto him. Anyone who we play against, they double up on Bruno, and he can still shimmy past them and just little simple moves because he's beautiful on the ball. Now, to wrap it around to the Shelvey and Bruno thing, does Shelvey start for Liverpool? The midfield is weak. So maybe Liverpool at this moment. Maybe.
Does
he start for Chelsea? The Shelvey?
Shelvey, man, he has a shot, bro. Shelvey has a shot. He has a shot.
Does he start for Spurs? Does he,
No,
or not even start?
no.
Does he play a lot of games? No, okay,
Yeah. He will play a lot of games, but
but
not
not
start, of
as
course.
a primary starter. So
Not as a
a
primary starter.
rotation / valuable squad player. That's the
Yeah,
difference. Bruno starts for a Spurs. John Joe is a very good squad player for
squad
rotation.
player.
Exactly. We
I
have
even think
Bruno
Jojo is
Guimarães.
even a little bit ahead of being a squad player.
I said,
In a
yeah,
way, that's how I see him.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't say just squad player, a very good
A
squad player,
very
a
good
very
one.
good player to have off the bench. So that's my point about Bruno and Shelvey. Shelvey's just a level above, or sorry, Bruno is a level above Shelvey, where Bruno could
Yeah,
play for a top 6 side. That's why you
yeah.
guys were interested in him.
In him, yeah, exactly.
You guys
Exactly.
wouldn't, you guys at this point in Shelvey's career wouldn't buy a John Joe Shelvey. You would buy a Bruno because Bruno's 24. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously,
And the
that's why we
ability.
were in the market for him.
Exactly.
We were
So
gunning
that's the
for him.
difference for me
I
with
wanted him.
Bruno and Shelvey. But I hope that answers your question about if Bruno gets injured.
Yeah, sure. Amy Baba, BX Guna. See, you guys would admit that we missed out on Guimarães, who went to Newcastle.
Everyone did.
I really wanted him there. What's your own ideas about Guimarães? Because, see, Amy Baba, BX Guna, our fans out there who are with us on this stream, Guimarães is really performing right now for Newcastle. He's
He's
helping
one
them
of the
with their
best.
goal tallies.
He's one of the best
You know,
midfielders in the league. Top 10.
yeah, top 10. Yeah, top 10.
De Bruyne is better than him.
Obviously, of course.
Would you rate Thomas Partey over him?
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You got to think about it. So that's already
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I know.
I think Thomas Partey just edges him a little bit, because of what he gives to Arsenal. It kind of like gives Arsenal that balance in the middle of the park, and of course, Arsenal is top of the league right now.
He's more of a balls to the wall, tough as nails kind of CDM, but he's got some quality on the ball and an excellent shot. Like he can score world.
Yeah, he can score. Yeah, well, of course we'll come to that belter.
So you know what I'm saying?
On
like
Sunday.
You got to really think about midfielders in the Prem. Who is better than Bruno? We can name some, but I think Bruno G is comfortably top 10.
But again, you have to remember this league is very, very brutal. When your performances, when you have a deep in form, and your performances, become lackluster in a way. Most teams always go through deeps. Along the line in the season, or as the season, keeps going. And mind you, the cup games haven't really been coming in a flurry.
Yeah. We haven't we're not in Europe, for example.
Exactly. So just imagine Newcastle playing in the Carabao Cup.
FA.
Not in the FA, in the Carabao.
Which we have Palace next. Yeah.
Exactly. So now you will have to stretch your squad to do that.
Yeah.
And mind you, Newcastle's power isn't really in their second string side. Newcastle's power is in their first 11. You understand this, right?
Having said that, like we said, we haven't had Isak for a while now because he got injured a little bit. He got injured after the Bournemouth game, which was September 17th. He wasn't around for the Fulham, Brentford, Man United, Everton, Spurs, or Villa game. So that's six games, and we've lost none of them. We picked 16 from 18 without Isak, who is an obvious, and who started on the left for us.
He can give you 15 goals in a season. Isak is that good.
Jacob Murphy started on the left for us, and he is nowhere near Isak, nowhere near.
He's nowhere near.
He did his job in those games. So we've gotten goals from all over the pitch. So I agree.
I know. But anyway, this was where I was going to with that statement. Newcastle's power is in their first 11. Do you agree to this?
Yes, but actually,
because it's your first 11 giving you your wins at this time. So it's your first 11.
Besides Isak. And
just
Alan
leave
Maximan.
Isak out because of course he's on your first 11, but he's injured right now. He's not there to chip in the goals for you.
Wait, so
So
what do
of
you see as
course,
our best 11? Because I actually want to talk about this. Our first 11, when Isak is healthy, John Joe Shelby is healthy, and Alan St. Maximan is healthy, Miggy, he deserves to start on the right for his goal scoring. That's where ASM could go, but Isak can play up
I
the
still
left or a
classify
striker.
those guys. I still classify those guys as guys that can still play in your first 11. So I'm talking
Yeah.
of your. I'm talking of your
Remember, Matt Target's
typical
on the bench
second
right now.
string side. Like I cannot say Isaac is your
Second.
second string side because
So would
if
you
he comes
start?
back into that team, he's going to play.
Would you
He's going to
wait?
play
So
because
where would you put?
you
Where would you
cannot bring
start
a
Isak?
player you cannot bring a player from the
Mhm.
Spanish La Liga for 70 something million pounds and say he's your second string striker. No,
No,
he's
I
going to
agree.
play. He has
So
to
he
play.
starts over Wilson
Definitely. But now
because
Wilson is
also
chipping in
Isak
the
can play off
goals.
the left.
But now Wilson is chipping in the goals. He
Yeah,
has to play.
exactly, bro.
He
That's
has
what
to
I'm.
play. He
That's
has to play. Sam
that's why I think
Maxima
we're
is a
top four.
dangerous guy. He has to
Yeah.
play. He's under your first 11. But see, yeah,
So
when the
so
game come
wait.
thick and fast, see where I'm going to. This is
Oh,
where I'm
sorry.
going
Go
to.
on.
I
My
don't
bad.
want to
Go on.
confuse you, but this is where I'm going to. When these games come thick and fast, because of course, Newcastle is top four right now.
Yeah.
That's irrelevant right now. But of course, even last season, by the tail end of last season, it was a scary place for teams to go to Newcastle, legitimately.
Yeah.
But see, yeah, in the Carling Cup, when the Carling Cup comes up, and then your team would now be stretched at that point in time. And then when the FA Cup comes in, you would have to further stretch your team further. And mind
Mhm.
you, in between that mix, Premiership is also going on at that time.
Of
So your
course.
squad will be stretched at that time. See, this is what I want to know from you. Do you have this feeling that you have a Manchester City square kind of squad depth
It's
to
nowhere near on the level of
to,
City.
to, to
No.
really to really push for this top four.
We don't have the squad on the caliber of Manchester City because, honest to God, there's probably only two clubs on earth that could match what they do. So, no, definitely not. No, we don't have that kind of squad depth. But
Okay, so
what we
since you don't
do,
have that squad depth, would you equate your team with the team of Arsenal right now? Because Arsenal doesn't have enough squad depth. You guys, you've just admitted here right now that Newcastle doesn't have anything close to Manchester City square kind of squad depth. So can you equate it, or is it equal like for like with that of Arsenal right now?
squad wise, I'm gonna let you answer that first, to be honest, and because I gotta think about that. Because to be honest, what happens if Xhaka and Partey get injured? That's Sambi Lakonga, and
Yeah.
who steps in?
Yeah. See, let me big up
Yeah,
the
go
people
through the
in the comment
comments.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joshua Benyard. Yes, Big Steve. Big ups to
He's
you,
a
Joshua.
he's a member of Newcastle Fan
NUFC,
TV.
yeah. Big ups to you. Hopefully, one of these days, Joshua, you will come around and chop it up with us on this show. Of course,
Yeah.
your man Steve is here and is a legitimate part of this channel right now. And so, of course,
Yeah.
to come around and have a little bit of a nickel with the boys, just like Ivan Tony, having a little kick about with the boys
Yeah.
somehow. I think he regretted that statement. Okay, Strasbourg Steve, of course, that's Steve here.
That's me.
Amy Baba. Amy Baba is see, this guy is, apart from being a friend, is also that guy that he loves football. Like he legitimately loves football. He
Yeah.
breathes football. Uh, he's been that guy that I've always supported this channel and has
Mhm.
always supported me too. So God bless you, Amy Baba. I don't know what I can do without you, brother. And it says here, hello, panel. I can't wait to see Arsenal play Newcastle. A
Be a
revenge
great
of
game.
L. See. I can't, seriously, I can't wait to play Newcastle.
Oh, I used to, bro.
I can't wait to
Bro,
play Newcastle.
the last time we played you guys at the Emirates last year, I wasn't looking forward to the game in terms of like, oh, we could get a result. Like I knew we were gonna lose. Now the difference is I still think if Arsenal keep up this form, you'll win like 2-1 or something. But that's not an easy game to predict a result
It's
in.
not an easy
Not
game. You can't even predict
far
it
from
right now.
obvious.
But what I'm looking at is that we'll be facing Newcastle probably in the new year. So I
January.
hope, yeah, in January. So I really
Yeah.
hope that by that time, Arsenal would have dipped their hands into the transfer window and bring
You
in
need
some
to.
players.
You
Yeah, we
straight up
need
need
to.
to.
Same thing with you guys because we've just established the fact that if Guimarães kind of like gets injured, if Wilson kind of like gets injured, you
Isak's
guys.
the backup to Wilson, to be fair, or other way around. Wilson is the
But
backup.
even Isak's fitness will be put into test
Yeah,
by
of
the
course.
time he comes back because of
Oh yeah,
course he
yeah,
will just be coming back from injury. He has to be rehabilitated. He has to
yeah,
be eased back into that team again. So it will take him
yeah.
something. I think he's scheduled to come back by January. So if he comes back by January, his form won't still, be up to that level of what we know him to be in the Spanish La Liga or to his form at the start of the season when
Sweden.
he started. Yeah, he's Swedish actually, but he would have to, come in, get rehabilitated, coming back into the mix
Yeah,
with the boys again. So before that, let's say, before he would get back to that level that we do know him, it would take
yeah.
something like February. So you're looking,
Possibly.
you'll be possibly. So you'll
Well,
be hanging
actually, you
your
know what? I
hopes
might
on
agree.
Sir Maximan,
Actually,
Wilson, and Almiron.
I actually kind of agree with you the February because if I've noticed with that, how he doesn't throw guys coming back from injury
He
straight back
doesn't.
into
He's a
the.
very careful.
And he did that with Bruno too. We
He
remember we
did that
signed him
with
in
him. He
January,
eased them
and
back into it.
there were I believe it was his fourth game where he started, where he didn't get starts in the first three he was available to, but he started in the fourth, and I believe that was the Southampton away game, and he got the
Yeah.
game winner. So
Okay, let's just talk with our fans out here who have joined us again. Amy Baba here says, "Nah, Steve, Xhaka will be preferred.
yeah,
He is our most improved player this season." See, bruv, see, I don't want to know, man. You're comparing Guimarães with Xhaka, bruv. This season, this season, Xhaka has been
Xhaka's been your best
different. He's
player.
been
I
a
think.
beast this season, bruv.
I think he's been
See,
your best player.
presumably our best player, bruv. This guy's the most. See, everyone at Arsenal. I don't want to know. BX Gunner. Oh, Miss Melina has joined us. Miss Melina, I saw your
Going on?
interview. Big ups to you, Miss Melina. Big ups to BX Gunner. Miss Melina, we did see your interview on AFTV because she was in England. I don't know if she's gone back to Canada, but if you've not gone back yet, of course you're a very very big friend of this channel, Miss Melissa. We wish you a safe journey back home. But if you're just here, from Canada, well, me and you have to talk about, your trios and frills in England. And it was nice to see you have your interview on AFTV. It was quite good. Miss Melina,
Yeah.
you have to give us a lowdown of everything that happened. So BX Gunner, BX Gunner, thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. BX Gunner, he comes here day in, day out. He comes here to support me. You're a big brother, BX Gunner. We love you down here. Just keep showing us love, BX Gunner. Keep showing us love.
100%.
God bless you, my friend. And he says, good afternoon, evening, my peoples. And Steve laughing out loud. BX Gunner. BX Gunner. Big ups to you, bro. And he says Jonjo was a good talent. Yeah. I still think he's still a good talent. He still
I
has
know.
he still has so much to give to the league. And mind you, he's still in Newcastle. Arsenal need to be very, very wary when we face them.
Yeah. No,
Amy Baba says, yeah, I agree with you guys. Bruno is a good player, of course.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
Miss Melina, I have a soft spot for this lady. very nice, very like she's a very, I don't know, she has a good heart, and she supports people. She
Mhm.
supports what other people do, and she has also supported me, on my channel too. So God bless you, Miss Melina. We love you down here. And of
Mhm.
course, Steve is also my new partner, in podcasting here. And of course, this is our first show, first episode called of the program called Gunners and Mags, because of course Arsenal and Newcastle. I know we've been talking about Newcastle for the at least for the better part of this program, but of course
Well,
we'll
we
get
have
into
started to
Arsenal.
talk about. You asked the question: squad
Yeah,
depth wise,
yeah,
Newcastle
of
compared to
course.
Arsenal.
Of course. So, Miss Melina, you're welcome to the show. And Craig AFC, big ups to you, brother. Craig AFC says, big up, panel. God bless you, Craig AFC. Amy Baba says here, hi, Miss Melina. I saw your interview on AFTV. Lovely. I saw the excitement all over you. Gonna smash Nottingham Forest. Come see, it's all a party. And we have another big brother. God bless you, Boxai Shaku. You're here with us. He says, hi, Tony. And he says, yeah, big up Steve. See, yeah, they all love Steve. They all love Steve. Steve is becoming a fan favorite. Yeah, everyone loves you, brother.
That's
See,
cool.
Steve,
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the Gunners' performance because we still have to touch Chelsea. We still have to mock Chelsea Football Club, we still have to mock them. We still have to mock Liverpool over what happened to them,
Yeah.
and just, churn out an appraisal for them. But still, we still have to talk about Arsenal. But before then, I want you to touch the area of Almiron. Almiron have scored. He just scored his seventh
7.
goal
Yeah.
this season. See, Almiron is like a new signing. It's completely changed the way he plays. Off the ball, he's running, he's walking his socks off. Almiron, of all players, is leading presses in a Newcastle team. This is this is unprecedented. It's totally different. And for some reason, he's found his shooting boots back at Newcastle United with his
Yeah.
seventh goal this season. What do you say to that, brother Steve? So please just give us an appraisal of Almiron and what he's done this season.
The guy is just. I mean, I we've always loved Miggy Almiron at Newcastle because even though he hasn't been scoring the goals, obviously that's changed of late. But before that, he wasn't like a primary goal scorer and whatnot. He's always worked his ass off for the goals he scores.
Yeah,
He celebrates them, and like he's a passionate guy. He loves the club. He loves playing for Newcastle. So he's always been a fan favorite, but that doesn't save him from, obviously, we criticize him just because we want him to score more and be involved and product and whatnot. So, and he's brought that to the table and in
obviously.
sensational form. I'm so happy for the guy. And you know what? He could have gotten all pissed off that Jack Grealish said that about him, but he's like, you know what? I'm gonna just go do my talking on the pitch because that's the
Exactly.
only thing. That's the only thing that anybody cares about.
And see,
Because
he's scoring belters, he's scoring bolters, like
unbelievable
he's scoring
goals.
unbelievable goals after goal. Like, I can't believe it. Almiron is scoring belters. Like, he's actually competing of the goal of the century with himself.
Yeah, the Pushkas Award, bro. Goal of the
Oh
month,
my
goal of the
God.
season, whatever you want to call it, man.
Jesus Christ.
It's
Like,
on fire.
right now I'm wondering, why isn't Arsenal going into teams like Newcastle and getting these players? Like Almiron. And right now, Almiron's price. See, yeah. This is my theory for Newcastle United.
Okay.
Sir Maxima is still there, he's scoring goals. He's a
Mm.
he's a good player. We all know his talent.
Oh yeah.
Wilson, I finally
Scoring
found the
goals.
shooting boots. He's
Well, no,
scoring
it's not
goals.
that he's finding them. He's finding fitness to then
E-
go
e-
score the goals. His goal scoring was never
exactly.
in doubt. But yeah, he's finally seems
But
like
for
he's
some reason,
consistently
he's
fit.
scoring goals. He
Yeah.
he scored a double. This This Saturday, was it
Against
Saturday?
Villa. Yeah,
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, he scored a double. See, just strike that out. Joe Linton is scoring goals for fun. Um,
Yeah.
and for some reason, Almiron have just scored his seventh goal this season. Arsenal, now let's just look on the hindsight, compare and contrast. And then we have Arsenal at the other end of the game. Gabriel Jesus have just scored a mega 5 goals this season,
Mm.
all competitions this season. You cannot compare that output with whatever output you're getting from Newcastle United. What does
Mm.
that show you? It shows you that Newcastle legitimately have shooters down there. You have strong strikers down there. Why isn't Arsenal going and causing problems in that camp right now?
Mm.
Calling up either Joe Arlington, calling up either Almiron, and say, hey, Arsenal can offer you, that outlet to be the main guy at Arsenal
Because
because
we got a project going on that's arguably it's quickly becoming as attractive as
I
an
know,
Arsenal.
Steve, but you have up to 4 to 5 strikers that are scoring goals right now. There will be a problem of
Isak,
of
like
who
I
to
said, has
play.
been injured.
And mind you, Isaac hasn't even come into the picture yet. So you have close to up
Played
to
3
five
games.
strikers,
Isak has played 3 games for us, and he's had 2 goals in those 3.
and he's had
So
2 goals. See, Isaac. See, we were in for Isaac actually,
we
but
were
we didn't. Yeah, we were in for him, but he didn't come to Arsenal. See, but now you have 5 strikers down there that are scoring
they're goal
goals.
scoring
Wide forwards,
wingers like
strikers,
Miggy.
wingers,
Yeah.
anything. Arsenal is even in the market for a wide forward. So it's both strikers, anyone. They are giving you goals right now.
Yeah.
Why isn't Arsenal going into the camp of Newcastle right now and legitimately causing a problem for them? Because we can if we want to, because all of them are scoring. When Isaac comes back, definitely there will be a problem of choice.
Then we can rest Wilson and when we have those cup games and whatnot.
But I
On a
think one or two,
Wednesday,
where I'm going to is that I think 1 or 2 players from Newcastle would have a problem with some other player playing before them if they are
possibly.
scoring goals. Like if Isaac comes back to that Newcastle team right now and Wilson goes back to the bench or Joe Linton goes back to the bench, of course you cannot bench an Almiron because Almiron is putting
He's
6, 7.
unbenchable
He's unbenchable right now. He has
based off
played
his goals
himself
and
to that
performances.
position.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now an Isaac comes back, which means that either a Sir Maximo would sit down or Wilson would sit down.
That's what I'm saying.
There'll be grumblings at the end of the
what's
day.
the front?
Arsenal can make
what's
something out of it.
what's the front 3? What's Newcastle's strongest front 3 when everybody's healthy, like Isak and ASM? Because Callum Wilson's scoring goals, Miggy's scoring goals. Off the left, Joe Linton can do a job, but I'll drop him into midfield, obviously. That's his best position. He's been doing very well at left wing, though. But the whole it's just like it's like
No,
that's what I'm saying.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy because you guys have serious talent out there. Wide forward strikers, they're all scoring goals. They're
Midfielders
all
who score
happy.
goals as well.
Exactly. They're all playing well. And again, see, I like strikers that press a lot. And this is my likeness
Defend
for
from the front.
Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
I like Gabriel Jesus for that because Gabriel Jesus is this kind of player that he's not churning out the goals right now, but he's working
A
off the
valuable
ball.
member of your team, 100%.
He's a valuable member of that
He's
team
world
right
ahead
now.
of Nketiah.
Okay, see, what would you say about that game, Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest? What do you have to say? Take us through that.
Yeah, and that's your boys. So I got the first half for me. It was good from Arsenal. It was a bit slow, and they just need be a little bit more urgent. And then towards the end of the first half, Nottingham Forest were given some problems, particularly Morgan Gibbs White. Kouyaté was doing a great job winning 50-50s, getting it upfield. Second half though was like completely different story. It was all you guys. In terms of the second half, you caught fire. So it was very, very good performance from Arsenal second half. And you guys needed that You needed that because some of
we needed that, man.
the PSG performance was unacceptable. In your perspective, it was unacceptable. How bad?
That PSV game was a shocker.
The 2-0 loss. It was unacceptable. The lack of intensity, desire, anything like that. Like that's not that. No, it doesn't matter if the game means nothing in terms of whether you'll advance to the Europa League or whatnot. It matters in terms of good teams play hard, no matter what the game is, what the consequence is, because it's easy to get into bad habits. It's very easy in a bad habit of playing bad. Well, you want to break that very quickly because you're going to have to play good to keep getting results. That's why.
Guys in the chat, please. Who is the most improved player in the Premiership this season? We have a Granit Xhaka, we have an Almiron from Newcastle, and we have Guimarães. Who is the most improved player?
Guimarães has always been class for us, so I wouldn't.
He's always been class, yeah, of course. But I just added that into the mix,
I'd say it's between Miggy or Xhaka.
Yeah, or Xhaka, yeah. Boxer Ishak will say something. He says Xhaka and Martinelli have just been rated by someone, can't recall on Twitter, as the most improved Arsenal players this season. See, it's not Xhaka, it's not Martinelli. For me, it's Xhaka. It's Xhaka. Bruv. Xhaka has been, I don't want to, because I'm a gunner, of course. I don't want it to seem like maybe I'm, overplaying my hand out here. But Xhaka was this player that he was always, every time he was always playing sideways. Like the ball would generally come to him. By default, what he's thinking of doing is to play the ball sideways or backwards. And it really affected the way that Arsenal Football Club was playing because we never had that kind of player to actually drive the ball forward.
The sideways passes will be sniffed out by the opposition in terms of if you press hard on Xhaka, he passes sideways, have another winger or midfielder bust up, transition, bam, we're going right at their goal.
Exactly. And now
he's cut that out a lot of
it. Now, whenever he's with the ball, he's looking on, making those runs offensively, creating spaces. See, dump everything we've talked about. Xhaka is actually giving assists this season, and he's also scoring goals this season. This is someone who was legitimately
there's no red card
passes and sideways everywhere.
And there's no red cards because with Xhaka, even so, there are times over the years I watch Arsenal games and Xhaka has a good game. But then he screws over his team by getting a red card, and it costs them points. He's cut that out of his game so far, and that's a massive. That's availability is the best. Is the most desirable thing to have having a player. Like if you're not injured and you do an excellent job, then that's Bro, so valuable.
He's scoring goals this season.
Scoring goals and he's not getting red cards
this season. Like to me, Granit Xhaka is the most improved player this season. Like I beg to differ.
His body language as well. He's not getting into like I said. The reason some of those red cards happen is because someone was chatting to him, like a Mopai or whatever, and he'd get a silly yellow because he'd stomp on him. A reckless challenge in a derby.
He hasn't gotten a red card this season.
Exactly.
So it shows improvement.
He's maturing. He's maturing as a footballer to be like, you know what? I can't get involved in this stuff anymore because it costs my team. And if he keeps that up throughout the year, then we can fully say he has stepped up and matured 100%.
Well, for me, I can say he's fully matured already. For me, see, Xhaka was raking up red cards in quantum.
In big games, too. In big games, and then you drop
that guy. He's legitimately that guy. He doesn't score goals that much. Of course, he has one or two belters he scores during some kind of important games, but that's just like maybe once a season or twice in a season.
I mean, he
That's
just
when he
had
gives us
4 or
that kind of
5
game.
this year in all competitions, 4 or 5 for Xhaka.
Yeah, but of course you can't
Something
compare
like
to
that.
the season, man. The season hasn't even gotten to the
No, I'm
middle of
saying
it.
this season he has 4 or 5 already.
He has four. He has four. I think 4, 5 already. If you include the Europa
All
League one,
competitions. Yeah, I
all
said all
competitions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's just that good. And see, one thing about him is that he's also running into spaces,
Yeah.
creating chances, creating
Bro,
spaces, running the channels.
he's starting to be a playmaker. He's always had that in his
Exactly.
game.
He's been unleashed.
For Switzerland, he plays as a 10 sometimes. So he's always been
Exactly.
a playmaker, but I don't know if it's Arteta telling him you got to do this more, or if it's Xhaka being like, hey, Mikel, I have
Okay.
these qualities that
Okay.
I think
See,
we need to add,
Steve McCullough.
Yeah.
I want to pick your brains on this.
Okay.
2 seasons ago and a season ago, everyone, including me.
Yeah.
I'm one of the most positive Arsenal fans, and even me, I wanted Xhaka out of the club. Like I needed him
Right.
out of the club. But
Right.
see, yeah, Mikel Arteta placed his fate on him. Hey, I'm Steve Chelsea Dan in the chat. My brother, Chelsea Dan, big ups to you. Steve, of course, Chelsea Dan is in the chat. Big up Chelsea Dan, big ups Emin Baba, big ups BX Guna, Ishaku Boxer, big ups to you. Onome Soje, big ups to you. CFC Craig AFC, big ups to you. We'll come to your charts quite soon. Chelsea Dan, big up to you, man. I'll talk to you after the
Yeah.
show. See, when you have, what was I talking about?
Xhaka and Almiron, who is like most
Xhaka. See,
improved.
no. I wanted
Exactly.
to ask a question. And see, yeah, and then Xhaka was the most hated player on Arsenal ground
100%.
2 seasons and a season ago.
Yeah.
But like both seasons, in fact, since the season he came to Arsenal, he's been the most scrutinized player in Arsenal, apart from Mesut Ozil when he was having his problems with Arsenal Football Club.
Right.
And let's say maybe a little bit Aubameyang towards the end of Aubameyang's stay in the football club. See, Mikel Arteta placed his faith in Granit Xhaka. There was something he was clearly seeing that many other people in the fan base were not seeing clearly. Because I wanted him out. Everybody in the club, every Arsenal fan I've spoken to wanted that guy out of the club. He nearly went. He was actually frolicking with
Roma.
Jose Mourinho for that position at Roma because it came out, and Jose Mourinho wanted soldiers to come around, and he said Xhaka has potentials, not just the potentials, but he has the expertise that he needs at Roma, at FC Roma. And see, for some reason, they balked at the price. He didn't go to Roma at all. He didn't go to the Serie A at all. Mikel Arteta put his arms around that player and told him, you can do this. See, Steve McCullough, with your experience in football and footballing issues, do you think Mikel Arteta nicked this one right?
I mean, so far, we'll see. We'll see at the end of the season, and same goes for Miggy and Newcastle. Obviously, we are about roughly a third of the way into the season. We played 13. It's a 38 game season. 13 times 3 is 39. So a tiny bit over a third of the season through already. So we'll just have to see whether it was the correct decision or not. But if we're talking right here, right now, it is.
Right here, right now.
It looks like the correct decision. The thing that Xhaka just needs to keep just keep consistent in is not only the performances and the goals and assists are kind of extra, but if he could keep that up, that's another bonus as well. What he needs to absolutely make sure this season in those big crunch time games against a Manchester United or a Spurs or Chelsea, don't get silly red cards to cost you the game. Don't. Because all of that goodwill and all that good work you did at the first half of the season or the first third it will be gone. It will
Yeah.
be gone because you screwed up in the big game. So if Xhaka can handle that pressure appropriately, I don't see why it doesn't work out. But that's the thing that I still watching his as an Arsenal game watching as a neutral when I watch Arsenal.
Yeah.
I still always have it in the back of my head. I don't know about you, but I always am like, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if Xhaka gets sent off because he's had that history of it.
He's had that history. Yeah, it's always there.
Dr. Phil said it best. Past behavior is a good future indicator of future behavior. If a friend asks you to borrow money from them and they don't pay you back within a certain time frame, you're gonna trust that person less next time if they want to borrow money. Because what did you do the one time you wanted to borrow money? You didn't pay me back.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Past behavior is the most accurate prediction of future behavior. Xhaka in the past, he struggled with red cards and discipline and whatnot, and some mistakes also in the game besides that.
Yeah. He cost us lots of goals last season also. Howlers after howlers.
100%. So as long as he has put that in the past and behind him, then we'll see. But like I said, what he's done in the past is a good indication of the future. So I always, in the back of my head, I'm like, he might get a red.
Steve, is he your most improved player in the Premiership right now? Right now,
it's a very good debate with him and Almiron.
Yeah, Almiron, right?
Can you honestly, I don't like sitting on the fence. I hate it, but I cannot separate the two. I can't.
Yeah, me too. I can't, man.
Because Miggy has scored more goals, sure, but that's his job as a winger. Xhaka's scoring goals, and he's a box-to-box CDM center mid kind of guy.
Yeah.
At the same time, Almiron hasn't scored 7 goals in his whole Premier League career, which is about 4 years.
Yeah, you have to put that into the picture.
Xhaka has scored some goals with some decent regularity over the years. It's just happening quicker. And Almiron has been very important to Newcastle, just like Xhaka has been to Arsenal. The difference is we've always loved Almiron at Newcastle. We've been critical of him just because we want.
Baba says that Almiron is a beast.
100%.
He's a beast. What he is.
Honestly, if I had to pick, I would say Xhaka, just because the mental battle he's had to endure with the Arsenal because of his own actions. He is a self-inflicted thing he caused. That was all on him.
He cost it upon himself.
Yeah, he did that to himself. That poor decision throwing the armband and whatnot. I'm gonna give it to Xhaka.
But again, Almiron never received hate from the Newcastle fan base. He was that likable guy. Everyone liked him in St. James Park.
Yeah. So it's really difficult. If you pushed me to an answer, I'd probably go Xhaka, just because also you guys are first in the league right now. And if Allen, basically there's no backup to Xhaka. Sambi Lokonga's not at that level of Xhaka. Allen Saint-Maximin, he wasn't healthy when Miggy was injured scoring goals. So technically there's no backup, but now there is backup because Allen Saint-Maximin is coming back into the picture.
Yeah.
So it's very tough. I'd go Xhaka.
It's very tough.
I'd go Xhaka. I'll go Xhaka by a millimeter.
I'll go with Xhaka, but not over the board. Because Almiron has really improved. See, that guy. Papa said it best.
Yeah.
Almiron is a beast. He's a beast. I clearly accept that. He's a beast.
Actually, the other. Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
Those are the kind of strikers that Arsenal need right now. See, I'm all up and okay with what Gabriel Jesus is doing, because that's our next topic right now. Gabriel Jesus. See, Gabriel Jesus might be, he might not be putting in those goals, but he's running those channels. He's pressing.
He does
He's
what
pressing.
Nketiah could only dream of doing.
Would dream of doing exactly. But see, yeah, I need
Yeah.
someone like an Almiron in my team.
A backup to Xhaka. Let's see if Reece Nelson can do that, for example, you know?
Bruv, Almiron is not coming as a backup. He's coming to
No, no,
play.
no. I was saying
Bro.
if Reece Nelson can prove to Arteta that he can be a decent backup to Xhaka, I don't know how long Bukayo is going to be out for. I'm sure
I
you
don't think
probably.
it's Mikel Arteta brushed off that question. He just said it's just a normal kickabout. So like a normal kick on him. So
A
of course he's down.
precautionary
Yeah,
substitute. Essentially.
precautionary.
Okay.
So it's not really that serious.
All right,
And
so there
mind
you
you,
go.
Saka has one of the best recovery rates in the Premiership.
That's true. That's true.
In
He's
terms
still
of
young.
injuries. Yeah,
He's
he's still
still
young.
young.
His bones are still strong. He's still
Yeah.
running. He's a lion, and of course he doesn't want to miss this chance of playing dawn in the shed of the three lions for England. So
No,
even if he's
exactly.
injured, he'll say, hey, I'm okay. I want to go to the World Cup. Hey, Steve,
Yo.
you saw Reece Nelson's goal. You saw his goals.
2 goals, right?
Yeah, 2 goals.
Yeah.
And you saw what Gabriel Jesus did. Can you
Yeah.
just take me through the dynamics of those two? Like, what do you think they brought to the table? And do you think this is a new lease of life for Reece Nelson? And
I
of
think
course, just try and look into Gabriel Jesus too.
Yeah, of course. Well, like we talked about, bro, Jesus is critical to your team, even when he doesn't score goals. Like, for example, people might be critical of Jesus because he's not scoring goals, which is a fair criticism. Obviously, he's a striker, but he gives assists off. He offers things, like we said multiple times, that Nketiah can't do. Jesus sets the press from the front, one of the main guys, the space he creates, the channels he runs, the bodies he drags with him, the playmaking skills and the good chemistry that he has with Martinelli and Saka. That's the stuff that Nketiah doesn't have. So the goal scoring, you want to improve on that if you want to be a title winner, because if you want to be a title winner over a Man City, for example, Jesus will have to start scoring goals at a much higher rate. But for right now, it's working out very nicely. Basically, what I'm saying is you will get top 4 if Jesus only scores 10 goals, 10 assists. You would win the league. There's a very high chance you could win the league if Jesus scores 20 goals and 15, goals. 30, something like that. Yeah. You will get top 4 absolutely if Jesus performs exactly the way he has, but he doesn't score 20. If you combine the 20 goals, the unbelievable performances, then you're talking like you could very, very much win the Premier League over Man City.
See, I clearly believe it. See, when I woke up, on a particular day before I started this podcast in July, I woke up and I told everyone, I said, hey, Arsenal is going to win the league this season. I told this guys from the start of the season, from July. That's when I started saying it. I got lots of hate from it. People disbelieved me. People said it's not going to be possible. I know we've not gotten to that extent yet, but who's the donkey now?
So far, you're in first, but
who's the donkey now?
But I feel like
we're challenging. Bro, we're challenging with a team that usually they're always going 90 points in a season.
Always.
Liverpool have dropped off. You've gotten into that top 4. Chelsea is
shaky,
being wiped with the floor everywhere they go right now. Tottenham Hotspurs, they're being, those ones are being disgraced everywhere they go right now. They can't seem to be any.
They've made life harder on themselves because of the way they play.
Of course, and when you have a superstar striking duo like a Kane, a Son, and a Richarlison, you should be doing more. So those ones, they're
injured to be fair. Richarlison's injured.
But that's aside. Other teams like Brighton, who I thought that this season, Brighton and West Ham, who I thought that this season they would bring the heat. towards that top four are all faltering right now. They can't get
Not
wins. They're
Brighton,
not
really.
stable. Inconsistencies everywhere. So see,
True.
this season is the season that Arsenal can be able to show that, hey, we can be in that mix. We can push Man City all the way through, and we're top of the league right now. The only thing we just need is just to go into that transfer market by January, get in people, recruit strikers. I want an Ivan Tony. If they
Yeah,
can get, if they
100%.
can get even an Almiron, but I doubt it because Amy
We
Babab just
don't.
said something here.
Yeah, no.
He said
Almiron.
clubs would
We
have
aren't.
to break the bank to get
We
Almiron
we aren't
out of
selling any
Newcastle.
of our first team players that are
But do
of
you know
high quality.
Almiron's contract situation in Newcastle right now?
Pretty sure it's 2 years left.
It's 2 years left, right?
I'll look it up on Transfermarkt just to be absolutely positive about that.
Yeah, but I know that Almiron doesn't have up to four seasons
I
left
don't
or
think
three
so.
seasons
I
left.
don't
Yeah.
think so.
So
Yeah,
very
like I
soon
said,
he
I'm
can
gonna look it up. I'm doing that
very
right
soon he can be able to talk to other people from next year.
now.
But again, this is where the problem is for anyone going into the market to fight off any like anyone going into the market to compete with Newcastle.
We
Newcastle
don't need the
aren't
money. Why would we sell?
Newcastle aren't those babies anymore. They don't need the money.
You
You know,
can't, you can't, you can't bully us and take our
you
best
can
players like Ayoze Perez,
before
Leicester. Kabai
exactly.
went to PSG back in the day,
Yeah, yeah.
so
You can't do that again to Newcastle. So
yeah, you
they're the
can't.
top dogs right now. And see, yeah, that's why they are in that top four. It's not by luck. You know, it's a
Contract
strategic plan.
expires, by the way, June 30th, 2024. So in so let's see if we go to June 30th to 2022. So yeah, when it's in the summer, it's about 2 years left. So I was on the
So
money.
yeah, it's on
Two
the
and a
money.
half
So
right now. 2.5 years left on his contract.
something like that. So,
Yeah.
his contract is up in the air. See, enough of Arsenal. Let's just go into, briefly, because I want to close the show by the 20-minute mark, 1 hour, 20 minutes. See, Chelsea battered, disgraced
Yeah.
by Brighton Albion. My brother, what do you have to say?
They're in a
Brighton 4,
they're in a
Chelsea 1, completely destroyed, humiliated. See, the former master goes back to his stomping yard in Brighton to
yeah.
meet to meet his I don't know, I don't want to say servant, but but he went back to his to his former stomping yard,
Yeah.
and right there in his stomping yard, he was disgraced, bullied. Oh my God!
Outplayed.
It was see,
Yeah.
it was actually booed by the fans
Oh
of
yeah,
of,
of
of
course.
Brighton
When
Albion.
you leave a club middle of the season for a big boy like Chelsea, you're gonna get that
You're
response.
gonna
100%.
get it right. You're gonna get the
100%.
heat, right?
Just like how I said with Xhaka, if he gets red cards in big games and costs you top 4
Yeah,
or a
top four
title,
title.
all that goodwill that you did in the past is gone.
It's gone.
Just like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Just
how
like that.
fickle human beings are. We quickly switch up on people. We're quick to, and the fan base too. We just switch off immediately. We throw everything away and just start the
Give
curses
him
and
a
abuses.
heckling. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, but you know what? You can understand why they're so pissed off at him. You can understand it. Like leaving Brighton in the middle of the season or in the beginnings of the season is different
Well,
if he wanted to leave
he
in the
left them in a
summer.
good state. He
But
left them in a
but
good
it's all
state.
about the timing. It's all about the timing. It's there's a difference between jumping ship while you're in the sea and jumping ship when you've landed and you're saying to your guys,
When
all
you're
right,
on
I'm gonna
dock,
go.
right?
Yeah, when you know what? I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go on this other boat, because it's that's just what I want to do. It's different though if you jump ship while you're in the middle of the ocean, because it's like
Of
you're
the
abandoning
ocean.
crew, because you're the
Yeah.
captain, you're the manager, like the captain of a ship. You leave your men stranded instead of getting to land and finding a new captain for the ship before you set sail. Just like if Graham Potter left in the summer, then that gives Brighton a lot of time. They got a spot on with De Zerbi, but it's tricky because it's in the middle of the season. Like, you have to find a good manager available like that, compared to the summer when there's a lot of players and managers changing clubs or that are free agents. So that's why they're so mad.
But again, Brighton destroyed Chelsea 4-1.
Yeah.
See, it's huge, man. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Like, Steve, where did Chelsea get it all wrong in the weekend?
It's literally as simple
A
as,
club like Chelsea shouldn't be getting spanked and disgraced.
but it happens. It happens sometimes. No, where Chelsea got it wrong, it's as simple as back three, and you set your wing backs as Sterling and Pulisic. That's as simple as it gets. That's the reason why they lost.
And Cucurella is not a centre back. He can navigate that area.
Trying to fit square pegs into round holes, albeit they have injuries, but I've already ranted about this. Call up an academy kid to do the fucking job. Call up an academy kid.
Why do you have
like Cucurella as a wing back, as a left wing back, off the right? Maybe do Caesar or something, Espilicueta.
Yeah.
Or maybe even Ruben Loftus-Cheek, because he can play there. Cucurella doesn't work as a center back. Call up an academy kid as a center back. And if you really don't want to play Espilicueta as a right wing back, call up an academy kid. Call up a fucking academy kid. That's why these leagues in other countries, like Liga and Serie A and La Liga and the Bundesliga, they give chances to these youngsters. And that's how they become hot property.
Yeah.
Like all the like Sadio Mane when he was at Salzburg. He was a young kid at a club getting a chance, and there you go. You got a Premier League move.
Boxai Xhaka says, there is a rumor about Arsenal going in for Almiron.
No, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it.
Okay. I'm just putting that out there. It doesn't. You don't need to get in your feelings right now, Steve. Don't get.
I'm not in my feelings. I know that's not going to happen. The only players. Why?
Like why?
Why?
What if we have a bigger chance of lifting the trophy?
Are you giving me $200 million for Almiron? Are you giving me $100 million?
100 million?
Exactly.
No, it's not possible. He has just 2 years in his contract.
Exactly.
He has just 2 years in his contract.
Tony, we have the richest owners in club football. We don't need money.
Oh my God.
We don't need money. We just talked about how you can't bully Newcastle for their players anymore.
No, it's true.
Why would Miggy want to leave? Why would Miggy want to leave if we're fourth in the table? Come January, let's say. Why would he want to leave? To jump ship and kill all that goodwill with the Newcastle fans for jumping ship to go win a title with Arsenal, possibly? He's going to get laughed at.
But people have done it before, man. See, one thing you people don't really understand is that, there's no more, forget loyalty in football. Forget it. Zach Fabregas sold us out. Van Persie sold us out. See, all these guys, we have snakes. we have snakes playing, as players.
Snakes in the water.
These guys will jump ship at the smell of a bigger contract. They would jump ship at the smell of okay, we give you assurances.
Graham Potter, for example, Graham Potter, for example. It even happens with managers.
No more loyalties.
Sure.
These players will flip the same way fans will flip on them if their form goes bad. It's the same way. They'll flip on you. But
100%.
But the problem I have with Newcastle right now is that you guys are on the money.
Yeah, exactly.
You have the money. So there is
do you want Miggy Almiron in January? He's 28. I'll remind you. He's 28.
But what if Newcastle say, hey, we're big club now, right? We're getting top four right now, right?
Yeah.
Almiron just has only 2 years in his contract and he's
Okay.
28, he's aging. Eddie Howe, what do you think about getting a bigger striker in the summer?
It
Why
would.
don't we
Well, no,
don't
a
think it's
winger.
good
A winger.
business to let him out in January?
Yeah.
We have Sir Maxima, but again, it's stupid. No
But
team will
Almiron is
leave.
playing like he. We talked about this, bro. Almiron is unbenchable, and
He's on bench.
therefore he is unsellable
He's unsellable. Yeah, exactly.
because he's doing all his talking on the pitch and he's scoring goals and performing brilliantly. Like,
Exactly.
and why would he want to leave? Why would he want to leave? Why would you want to
I
leave
don't think you. I
someone?
don't think you will want to leave. Actually,
Exactly.
I don't think.
I agree with you about the loyalties in football not being around much anymore. But at the same time, there are always exceptions to the rules. Matt Letitia stayed at Southampton his whole career. That's one of the exceptions to the rules, albeit
Yeah.
that was a different era in the 90s. But surely Matt Letitia could have played for a Manchester United or an Arsenal or whomever. It's all it's all about that, and surely
Okay.
with the project Newcastle have going on.
Hey, do you still think Chelsea top four this season?
No, I
With
don't
how
think
they're
so.
getting disgraced everywhere they go.
Honestly, I
Do
don't.
you
I don't
think?
see them. I don't see them getting
Sincerely, I don't see them in
fifth.
top four. I don't see them in top four this
Fifth.
season, man. I had them in top four, but
I didn't.
but right now, Porter is being exposed. See, the thing of this season that I've seen this season is that these mid-table teams are now giving bigger teams a blueprint of how to beat these big teams.
Yeah.
Brighton have just given us a blueprint, like a carefully laid out plan of how to beat Chelsea Football Club. Have a go at them, run at them.
Yes,
Hey,
100%.
be hungry.
And Newcastle will do that when we play them because especially because it's at
trust me,
home.
Chelsea doesn't see. No, you're even going further. Chelsea don't want to play Newcastle right now.
100%
They don't. They don't want that smoke.
100%
But
they don't,
when will Chelsea meet Newcastle?
bro. In like less than 2 weeks.
In-
We play Southampton. We go away to we go away to St. Mary's. We go away to St. Mary's this Sunday, and then Saturday, November the 12th, 12:30 kickoff at St. James's Park.
Bruv, see, Graham Potter might be sacked by January.
I don't see that.
It's possible,
It's
bro.
No, but it's not. It's not. No,
if
no.
he loses
Okay,
against Newcastle,
okay.
see, I will go to Stamford Bridge. I'll beat them up. I don't know whoever they play, but do you want to tell me? See, Todd Boehly is a billionaire, of course, legitimate one. A former billionaire left the club who was famed for actually sacking managers. Right? Good. Now we have Todd Boehly, an American. Good. He comes into the club. And is this kind of guy that wants to imprint his mark on that team, imprint his mark on that administration in Chelsea Football Club. And again, I've seen him in the news talking tough. So he really wants to create a buzz for himself. See,
he's hungry to win with Chelsea.
What if he says, "Okay, I want to start sacking managers the way Abramovich did"?
Maybe
because I really want to get the best.
I think that'd be a horrible decision for them because I don't think the players they have are good enough, to be honest. Because look at where Chelsea ever since they won the Premier League title, they've had to scrape top four a lot of those seasons. Remember, it was the year they won the Champions League. They lost 2-1 on the final day to Aston Villa, and they had to have Spurs beat someone, I forget who, to get them into the top four. So they were out of they did not hold the cards in their hands.
I'm sorry, Steve. Anthony Herbert. Anthony Herbert, I'll be with you on Friday. Because I've just checked my schedule and I'll be with you on Friday. I was to send you that text message. So I'll be with you on Friday. You just gave me a super chat. Anthony Herbert is is a Crest member of this channel, a legitimate one. And very soon, I want all my members, Ruhan, Amy Baba, Anthony Herbert, and Bagaf, my platinum member. Soon enough, I want us to have a watch along, either a watch along together, or or they should call in into the show and come chop it up with the boys here, So, Anthony Herbert, thank you for the super chat. And he says something. He said, "Doing a great job, Tony, and up the Goonies, up the Goonies." Anthony Herbert, thank you, my brother. God bless you. I'll see you on Friday. I was sending you that text message today, but I'll get back to you. I should be on your show. See, guys, go and join Goonies from all corners. Anthony Herbert runs the show right now down there at Football United TV. So go down there, subscribe to that channel. I'm always there. He's my brother. He's my elder brother. So just go there, subscribe to that channel, and just catch me, Anthony Herbert, and some other guests he would bring to the show. See, Steve, you were talking about something. Can you get back right into it?
Yes, talking about Chelsea and whatnot. Look, ever since they won the Premier League in 16-17, their league finishes, if you look at it, they've had to scrape top 4 on many occasions, and they even missed out one year, and that the subsequent year they won the Europa League. They honestly, if you look at their league position and performances and form, it's not like that. Honestly, it's not that great. Their home record against Big Six teams isn't that great. It really isn't. When they played Man United at home, they haven't beaten them at Stamford Bridge for about 4 years now. Same with Arsenal. You guys smashed them. And Arsenal haven't lost at Stamford Bridge since what? 2018? 3-2 Chelsea, right? Under Saudi?
Yeah.
So that's going 4 years back. Their home record against Liverpool, not very good. Their home record against Spurs, that's probably the strongest. Man City beat them regularly. You know what I'm saying? That's been their problem. Stamford Bridge isn't necessarily a fortress.
It's not a fortress. See, Arsenal have had fun. Arsenal have had fun.
Brentford had fun last year.
The last time they won us in Stamford Bridge was since 2018. It's not a fortress.
It's not a scary place to play, especially their players.
True, I agree.
Jorginho, he's okay.
I really want Arsenal to go do a number on Chelsea, because these Chelsea fans are talking too much all over the country. They're talking too much. And see,
bro,
I want them to go do a number on them. And right now, see, Koulibaly is out of that gameplay on Sunday, whether we like it or not. Even if he comes back that Sunday, he's not match fit. Kante is out of the picture for them. Rhys James,
he's out until the World Cup. Kante, N'Golo,
he's missing the World Cup. It's out. It's out.
Oh,
the main person. Do you know why I'm very, very sure that Arsenal will go down and run them ragged? Their main engine room, and this is it. That's why I give Graham Potter. I rate Graham Potter.
Yeah,
that's why I really give him props. He's actually been milking. He's actually been milking scores and performances from this Chelsea team,
which isn't a great Chelsea team.
See, this Chelsea team,
they're a cup team.
Rhys James as their engine room. Without Rhys James,
fucking right back.
What you got against Brighton is what you get.
They deserve to lose that wholeheartedly.
Exactly. Yeah. And see,
that wasn't a fluky 4-1 win. That was a deserved Brighton win.
I brought in a very, very strong Chelsea supporter here. His name is Chelsea Dan. Chelsea Dan, of course, you know him. We're friends, outside these circles. And Chelsea Dan said it. He called a spade yesterday when he came. He said, see, Anthony, Steve, whoever he was talking to, but he said it here. He said, if Graham Potter brings in the same tactics that he played against Salzburg and he played against Brighton, they're going to lose.
And they did.
No, see, I don't know any apart from Chelsea OG. Shout out to Chelsea OG, who's my friend too. You know, and Latimer's
Vladimir
Prime is
Prime.
also a very strong and ardent Chelsea fan.
But
I've not,
he
I've
recognized, yeah.
Chelsea Dan is a core Chelsea supporter to the core. Now, for him to
Of
say
course.
that, he recognizes the fact that there's a problem with that Chelsea team right
Yeah.
now with
With or
injuries.
without injuries.
Yeah, he knows that.
Obviously, Reece James doesn't win you the game 5-4 against Brighton. Reece James maybe stops a goal, but it was that's still 3-1.
But again, Reece James has been contributing to goals this season
And defense.
He's a defender, of course.
He's a big player. He's a huge player for them. But
he's the engine room, bro. Because he's the one running those channels. He's the one creating opportunities.
That was a 4-1. You can't say that a right back scores 4 even if he concedes 4. Scores 5. You know what I'm saying?
But again, games aren't really won by just scoring goals. Yeah, it's about performances also. Because I really do
Chelsea
think that if they had a Reece James, they would have at least created a kind of like a pressure room. Or a pressure. Bit, yeah. They were kind of like pressure Brighton.
But here's
and
the
Brighton
problem.
will be wary. But Brighton were just coming in like they showed so much hunger with pace. With Impotoma, there's a guy called
Mitoma, Japanese international. He's gonna be fucking sick. He's a great player. Great player.
There was something you wanted to say, man. Please say, bro.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, about Chelsea, they're in some deep trouble because their next 2 games are like very not ideal. Because like I said, Chelsea in the league the past few years have had to scrape top 4 at times. The record at Stamford Bridge, they in big games and top 6 games isn't that great. They're a good side on the road, and they're a good side in a cup competition. That's why they won the Champions League with Tuchel, FA Cups, and whatnot in the Europa League.
Andrew Bell of the NUFC. Big ups to you, Andrew Bell. Yeah, you're a big friend of this channel. You're a big friend to Steve. You're a big friend to me too, brother. You're welcome to
talk with them after we're done with
this. Steve.
We could talk with them after this.
Big ups to you, Andrew Bell. God bless you and your family, my friend. Yeah, you were saying something, man.
No, but like I said, bro, the Chelsea have some deficiencies that have been around for a while, ever since they won the league. So honestly, top 4, I honestly, that's in some huge jeopardy. And you know what the difference is for me?
You're saying top 4, it's a big ladder for them to climb right now, right?
100%. And you know what the real concerning thing is the fact that Newcastle are now so far contenders for top 4. Whereas let's say we insert this Newcastle team in performances and we go back a few years, Newcastle might pip Chelsea on that final day.
It's not compared to see. Let me up the ante right now. Yeah. Newcastle is going to be challenging for the title this season.
They could every single chance.
I want to up the ante right now. Like I want to cause legitimate problems right now, and you're getting it here.
You think it's a 3-way title race
for the title this season?
3-way title race, or is there any more? Man United, I don't think will. I don't think Liverpool
Man United won't. They don't have the mental to do that right now.
Spurs won't because Conte is too rigid.
See, do you know what? Do you know why I'm putting Newcastle in this mix? See, teams are genuinely afraid of actually playing Newcastle. Like they shit and see.
They aren't afraid of going to Stamford Bridge, but they're very, very scared of coming to St. James's Park.
Of coming to St. James Park. See, trust me, you see that Brighton team, if they went to play against Newcastle, I think they've played against Newcastle this season already.
That was it. And you know what? Funnily enough, that was the only team who thoroughly outplayed us this season at the Amex.
This season, right? Yeah.
That is the only team who thoroughly outplayed us.
But I think Newcastle won, right?
No, we drew.
You drew that much, right?
And that was because Nick Pope made about 5 or 6 brilliant saves.
Saves, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But in any case, see, yeah,
Yeah.
Newcastle is a place. St. James Park is now a fortress. People are afraid to go there. Teams, right
Change
now,
their
teams
tactic.
are changing their tactics. See, that's a hallmark of respect. Teams
Yes.
are genuinely respecting
That's what Manchester
Newcastle
United
right
at
now.
Old Trafford used to have in their heyday. Teams knew
Exactly.
in the
Exactly.
tunnel they were probably going to lose, even if that
Exactly.
was a strong Arsenal team.
And
Yeah,
you
they
know what?
thought that they could win, but they were like, "This is Old Trafford," like
Exactly.
this
And
ain't
see, yeah,
easy.
that's the kind of respect teams have
That
not started giving have,
Newcastle have
right now. And
regained.
that
We
kind
had
of
it in the
respect,
90s. In the 90s,
Ars-
we had it. St. James's
Ars-
Park was yeah.
Arsenal haven't gotten that respect because teams are coming with their normal formations, coming to attack us. They're not afraid. So they think it's still the same old Arsenal. But I've seen that at Newcastle, these teams they just change their they change their tactics
Yeah.
because they genuinely recognize your power. They recognize it.
Pep
See, let's go
Guardiola
into that
isn't
Liverpool
gonna
game and close up this show, man.
Liverpool 100%.
Man, we're in a big row here, man. See, Liverpool losing against Leeds. See, yeah, when we went to play against Leeds in their home in Ellen Road. People
Mhm.
mocked us. People laughed at us. People said, people like my friends like Chelsea Dan, you know,
They're mocking
my
you for
other friends,
winning.
Chelsea OG, shout out to them, my friends. And they were all saying, hey, Arsenal were lucky. You were lucky. You were lucky to go to Ellen Road
Mm.
and scrape 3 points from Leeds that actually beat Chelsea up three goals to nil. Now, Leeds go to Anfield and completely conjure up a defensive masterpiece, a masterclass in defending,
Not only
in the
defending,
art of
but they
scoring
weren't
too.
they weren't afraid to go toe to toe with you and try to score and whatnot.
Exactly,
They
and
were
that was the
lucky in
only.
that game to. They were unlucky to not score leads, right? In
I'll
that
come
game
to
against
you. I'll
Arsenal.
come to you, Steve. And that was the only game. That was one of the games that Jordan Mash, your countryman, actually had to save his job.
Mm.
Take us through that match and what you thought about that match.
It was unbelievable. I mean, Melier was extremely good for them. Melier is extremely good because Liverpool. Honestly, I thought
Ola of the United family, God bless you, my brother. Big ups to you. Go add Ola of the United
yeah.
family on his channel. He's a podcaster here too. Should be coming back this week. Yeah. Yeah,
Facts.
Steve,
No,
continue,
but
please.
about the Leeds and the Liverpool Leeds game at Anfield, yeah, like Liverpool, they struggled a lot in that game. They struggled a lot because they just didn't have the intensity of Leeds did. You would have thought that Liverpool were trying to go for the final goal, but in fact, in the final 10, 15 minutes of the game, the side who
Yeah.
were hungrier, the side who had more desire, the side who wanted to win the game was Leeds because Jesse Marsch made attacking substitutions and Klopp made defensive ones, like
Yeah.
taking off Trent, who had a good game. There was no
Yeah.
reason for Trent to go off the pitch. There was no
Yeah.
reason because he was fine that game. He was fine. They brought on Milner, and their goal comes off, and Leeds' goal, Cristiano Somerville, his goal started when Willie Gnonto was on the left. 3 Liverpool players, 3 stood there and like shuffled side to side, wondering what Gnonto was gonna do. None of them challenged Gnonto. None of them thought because they didn't have the desire, but Gnonto did. Gnonto did. He got the ball into the box. It took, I think, a little deflection off Bamford. Cristiano Somerville came off the right and then just back side footed past Allison, just like that. And
Yeah.
Van Dijk was ball watching. Gomez, terrible. That Liverpool
Yeah.
team aren't hungry like they used to be. Nowhere near it. When Leeds
Yeah.
United, who have won 2 games this season, two games this season, have
Oh my
beaten
God.
you at Anfield. Leeds haven't won at Anfield for 21 years. 2001. Looked it up. And Liverpool haven't lost a home game with a crowd since 2016-17, I believe.
Okay, Anthony Herbert. Anthony Herbert is asking a question here, and Steve, you're going to answer that question to him because part of what the members get here is that their questions are being answered quickly
every time.
And Anthony Herbert is a bona fide member of this channel, so he asked this question: Can you see Klopp leaving Liverpool, and is his time up at Liverpool? Steve,
yes,
give Anthony Herbert an answer.
It is, and it should be. He should either walk at the end of the season or now or whenever, because the magic's gone. Magic's gone. The players that you used to be able to depend on, like Henderson, Milner, Salah, Van Dijk, Trent. Trent is still young, so his decline isn't like that. His decline is bad, but he's young. He can fix it. Mo Salah's never going to be what we saw of Mo Salah in the past. Van Dijk is not going to be the Van Dijk of the past. Gomez is not going to be the Gomez that we saw in the past. Robertson is not going to be the Robertson we saw in the past. They might have individual games against certain teams like Rangers and Bournemouth or Man City. Yes, they were wonderful in that game.
Yeah.
But no consistency at all. No consistency at all. Salah, before this season and I'd argue the season last season, Salah first half of the year was stupendous, amazing. Second half he was virtually anonymous. The decline of Salah, the decline of Van Dijk, the decline of Gomez, Robertson, Thiago injuries are what's screwing him over. Henderson's decline, it's over. He's already 35. When you are that age, the decline happens fast. Extremely fast. Ronaldo scored 20 goals last year. He's lucky if he gets 10. Because the decline, when you hit 35, 36, 37, some players can carry that out for longer, but sometimes the decline happens at 30 for some players, and they're just done. They're done at the top level of football in Europe.
Okay, but see, because you've answered that question for Anthony Herbert. Steve, Klopp is not just it represents something. It's an icon in that Liverpool dugout. It's a legend as far as I'm concerned. This guy should he be that kind of a coach that people should be demanding and calling for his head right now? Because I see even Liverpool fans disrespecting Klopp right now. Klopp came out and said, "Hey, I am the man to actually bring this week." Now I think this was today, early this morning. He said, "I am the man to actually take Liverpool out of this mess we're in right now. No other person can do it. I can actually do it."
I watched.
So this was his words. He said that being a coach in this football club is not just during the good times; it's also during the bad times too.
It's true.
So I am the man to take Liverpool out of this mess that we're in. Right. So that's what he came out to say. I think it was either yesterday or this morning that he came out to say in a press conference. But the fan base of Liverpool have already started to cuss out and call for Klopp's head. Do you think he should just walk away, or do you think he should be sacked, or do you think he should stay back, fight it out, and try to get Liverpool out of this mess they find themselves in?
So let me talk about those three possibilities. The first one you mentioned was walking. I think he should, and I think he will at the end of the year, because if you actually look at the body language of Jurgen Klopp and the tone, which I've told you about on many occasions, I'm on the spectrum. So I had to learn about these things like tone of voice, body language. There's ways you can tell if someone is happy or if they're sad or if they're angry or if they're saying something but they don't really mean it. They do these little things. Go look at Jurgen Klopp's press conferences and study his body language and the tone of voice and compare it to when in other seasons. He's like he's a different person.
He's a different character. Person.
He seems like a defeated man. And when he said that he thinks he's the man to stay, I didn't get that sense of confidence that he actually believed what he was saying. Because remember, he extended his contract in April, the past summer, essentially.
Yeah.
And he said his wife told him, "Can you imagine yourself at anywhere else?" Because Klopp was like, "I think I'm done. I think I've done my thing." So that's why the contract extension, he signed it at that time and not earlier on in the years or whatever. His wife convinced him to stay because he was already thinking. So he has already gone through some doubt within himself of I'm not so sure about this anymore. I think it's taken its toll. And I think it has. But something about Klopp, I think he will eventually, he is the kind of guy who will walk because he will admit defeat when he knows it. When he'll know when it's his time to go, when he knows he cannot offer anything more, that he's gonna walk. I'm not the guy anymore. We had some brilliant times at Liverpool, but it's over. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy anymore for this club. I'm gonna walk.
So I think Liverpool top 4 for you. Do you think they can string up 20 games unbeaten?
No, they definitely can't because they're inconsistent. No, absolutely not.
Top 5.
That's in jeopardy.
Top 6.
That's in jeopardy.
Top 7.
Maybe.
Oh my God.
No, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Tony?
No.
Am I just talking? Am I talking shit? Or or does it make sense?
It makes sense, bro. See, I'm just making those noises to just tell you how far from glory
it's crazy to see this drop off
from grace.
But at the same time,
not covered themselves in glory this season.
But at the same time, their ambition in the transfer window over the past few seasons, they should have done a bit more. They should have done a bit more. Yeah. Okay, think about it like this: have they found a Gini Wijnaldum replacement?
No. But see, the FSG have given these guys money. See, they've brought in some players. They brought in Nunes. They brought in Carvalho.
Right.
See, they brought in Coyote in that defense. See, they've brought in people, legitimate people. They still have Elliott to still run the show down there for them. See, they still have legitimate killers in that team. If they turn up, they can still get things done.
Can I rebuttal just for 2 seconds? But like I said about those killers like Van Dijk, Salah, Firmino, even though he's done all right this season, those guys are never going to see we will never see the consistent world-class title challenging, and in the one case, title winning season or Champions League winners. We will never see that form on a consistent basis again. Like, for example, do you see Liverpool getting 90 points this season?
It's not possible again.
Exactly. Right? Thank you. Yeah. They're on track. They have what? 16 points?
See, they're even closer to the relegation battle.
They're 5
points. They're 5 points.
They have 12 games played, 16
ahead
points.
Of the relegation battle.
You do times 3, which is roughly 38. 12 times 3 is 36. That's close enough to 38 where we can say this is where the points they'd be on. Bro, 16 times 3, 16, 32, 48.
Oh my God.
They continue this form. They're not even on track to get half of 50, which isn't even enough to be in the title challenge.
No. Let's be frank. That's relegation form.
Yes, they have been in relegation form in the Premier League this season.
This season, it's relegation
form. To win an away match.
Yeah. See, if you need a clearer blueprint of how to get relegation this season, look no further than Liverpool FC. Like it's relegation
And
form.
now, and you know why this Leeds game is so tremendously why I have completely ruled them out of top 4 or really anything impressive this season, because Anfield was their fortress, and now
It was and it's been
now
breached right now.
and there were already signs of concern this year with Palace drawing at home to Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah.
Napoli are going to beat the brakes off of them this
Oh
Wednesday.
my God.
A team who has won 13 straight games.
Big ups to you, Sebastian. And he says, big up Steve.
100%.
Big up Steve.
So we've
Big up
already
Steve.
seen Liverpool at home are a bit shaky. It took them 98 minutes to beat us.
Yeah.
So there have already been signs of decline in the home field of Anfield. We saw that for the Man City game, fair enough, but it's inconsistent. Their home form was consistent, but now it is inconsistent. And I don't see that trend changing.
And see, Steve.
Hold on. Can I make one more point?
It's okay. It's okay if a place is a fortress, but if a place is a fortress and it's been breached by a team in the mode of Leeds, bruv, it's the end. It's a total collapse. It's capitulation.
Napoli are going to again show that Anfield it's not what it used to be over the past few years under Klopp. They're going to beat them 3 or 4-0 or 4-1 or whatever. They're going to, and that game means nothing to them, by the way, but they are still going
qualified
to
already, right?
Heart, spirit, quality, and drive to win a completely meaningless game for both clubs. They're going to win that game by a lot of goals, and they're going to outplay Liverpool in their own backyard.
Oh my God! See now for the last question,
and then they got Spurs at home on Sunday after the Napoli game.
Yeah, for our last question,
they haven't won an away game this year in the Premier League. See what I mean?
We can talk about Liverpool from now till tomorrow. It won't end. That team is facing concrete relegation battle this season.
They don't improve quick.
Will the curse of Jurgen Klopp's 7th season apply this season? Well, it's that's out for the jury.
It's not off to a great start.
See, bro, it's not about a great start
of disproving that
curse. This is relegation form.
Yeah,
Liverpool. In fact,
when Klopp was at Dortmund, they started their 7th season in relegation form the year after they won the title.
A Liverpool fan, I did respect. I do respect actually.
Yeah.
After they lost against Leeds, I think it was a Big Six band or something like that. I don't know. Months from from the Big Six band to some. But I know him, at least. So it was like when they lost against Leeds, and then he posted online and he said, delete this club. Now, when someone in the mode of Mont comes out and says...
Well, I know Mont, yeah.
You know Mont, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, that's a Liverpool henchman. As you see him. I don't really know him, but at least football-wise, I see his shows, and I know he's a very, very ardent Liverpool fan, so I respect the hell out of him. And he came out and he said, "Hey,
he said,
yeah, exactly. He said, delete this football club." Now, if that's coming from a Liverpool henchman,
an optimistic one,
that size in this industry, man, it tells you what you need to know, man. Liverpool are legitimately fighting relegation.
That's the thing, man. And so I want to address the comment too. I don't know.
That's the last question. Anthony Herbert, your last question as a member will be answered. Steve, where would Newcastle finish? I think 7th or 8th this season. What do you think? I don't think so. But
my response to that is, can you name me 6 teams or 7 if we finish 8th that are better than Newcastle at this moment? Man City, Arsenal, I'll give you them. They're better than us, so that puts us at 3rd. Are Chelsea really that much better than us?
We're not better, bro. We're just trying. Don't put us in that pressure book yet, bro.
No, but I'm just saying, like...
Yeah. I know.
Are Chelsea that much better than Newcastle? I don't think they are at this moment.
No.
I don't think the feeling around that
Newcastle
club.
will mop the floor with Chelsea.
None of our fans are fighting each other over Eddie Howe in or out. That's going on at Liverpool.
Yeah.
The players at Liverpool are out of form. Chelsea need a whole new squad.
They need a whole new squad.
They need a whole new squad.
That squad is shit right now.
Tottenham,
it's
yeah.
shit.
Tottenham,
the defense is shit right now.
Tottenham were
Koulibaly
down
can't string
2-0 to Bournemouth.
4 games together straight. He's always injured.
Tottenham were down 2-0.
Their midfield is overrun.
Yeah.
So I don't see any team that will creep
Are
up.
Man United better than us? We drew with them. So at least we're on equal footing with them, in my opinion.
I thought that would creep into that top 4, but right now they can't do it. So Newcastle is in the best position to see. I'm saying it here on the show, right here, right now. Newcastle are title contenders.
Possibly.
Not possibly. See, forget possibly. Newcastle are
as
title
of right
contenders.
now.
Yeah.
So wait, would you put Spurs as title contenders? Even though, because they are above us.
Yeah, I know.
We're on equal points with them. I believe they're above us.
But their performances
are crap.
Doesn't equate. Yeah, their performances doesn't equate with the kind of points they have now.
They struggle at home against Everton.
They're struggling, and Newcastle beat Spurs at home in their so-called fortress. So Newcastle is putting up performances that's befitting of
a top team,
of a title chasing team. Bro, see, look at what you guys have done this season.
Yeah.
You've gone to places.
points and 13. Yeah.
See, you've been to the bullies this season already in Man City, and you've held your own with them. You've held your own with Man City this season.
Yeah.
And they're the biggest bullies in town. And you guys held your own. Manchester United, see what happened. It's the same thing.
And like I said multiple times about
big ups, Fear of Black London. Big ups to you, my brother. Fear of Black London. You know we love you. Thank you, brother. Thanks for showing up. You were saying something, Steve.
Yeah, like I said about our record at Old Trafford, we have one win since in the 21st century. One win, and a few draws. So getting a 0-0, that was a good result in context to Newcastle's historical record at Old Trafford in this century. So, and guess what? So we've gone away to Spurs, Liverpool, and Manchester United. We picked up 4 points out of a possible 9, which is much better than we usually do against them. And guess what? We have them 3 at home in the second half of the season. That could be 9 from 9, maybe 7 from 9. Maybe Man United could get a 1-0, but we could legitimately get 6 from 9. Liverpool, I think, will beat the brakes off of them at St. James's Park. Seriously. That's what a side.
See, anyone who doesn't recognize Newcastle, as a firebrand right now, man.
You're living
football, man.
If you don't acknowledge
how these guys are playing,
if you don't acknowledge
your performances, your coach, and Eddie Howe is now showing that he is a class manager.
So far,
he's a class manager. His tactics, the way he gets into the game. All your strikers are scoring. Wilson is having a good game.
We aren't losing games. We have one loss.
Joe Linton is putting in performances that are bewildering. Sam Maxima is inhuman. See, Almiron is a beast this season. See, you guys legitimately have a shot for this title this season.
And you know what the craziest part is? Before October, that was our rough period where we had, I believe, 1 win, 5 draws, and 1 loss. So we've already gone through a rough period as well, and we're
see what Fear of Black London is saying. Of course, is a great fan. Of course, he has his own ideas, he has his own opinions. But I think this is a legitimate opinion from Fear of Black London. But Steve, can you answer him? He says, no, Newcastle aren't title contenders. They will drop some performance soon. It happens to clubs. What do you say to Fear of Black London?
Right now, I think we're top 4 contenders, but as the season progresses, obviously, if we fall back a bit and we lose games that, we should have won or whatever the hell on paper that we should have won, albeit, if we start to really decline, if the players start to decline, if the fans are getting annoyed with whatever's going on, if Eddie Howe is doing this and that, like that is possible, 100%. It's football. It happens. But right now, top 4 for me looks very realistic. And these next 2 games will also give me a very good indication. Let's say we pump Chelsea 4-0. Then I think I can start to be like, maybe we're title contenders. And it also depends. It also depends on what other clubs do.
Do you think that's far from imagination? If Brighton is smashing Chelsea by 4-1,
they aren't historically a great home side as well.
They would demolish Chelsea by 6-7.
If we're playing at maximum ability and we finish our chances and they just go missing again, we could beat them 6.
Bro, see, man, I genuinely see Chelsea will still drop points this season. Lots of points because of injury. Not personally,
we have one loss.
Their team
We have
is
one
shit
loss
or
from
whatever.
13.
No, I'm not saying that Chelsea team is shit, but I'm just saying that they have lots of inconsistencies, mostly stemming from injuries that will cost them this season.
So essentially, they're overrated. I think
I don't want to say overrated because they have the players and the capabilities to do it.
Those same players have had to scrape top 4 year in, year out for the past 5 years.
But of course, they've brought in Sterling. Of course, Sterling.
But he hasn't. There. But if you play him as a left wing back, you may as well forget about that.
Forget about it, right?
Why would
man? Let's get out of this show, man. And Fear of Black London says here, I like what Newcastle are doing, though. They're building a
100%.
powerhouse. And of course, 100%, man. Hey, guys, see, it's already 2 hours, man. See, today was the premiere of Gunners and Mags, which just signifies Arsenal and the Magpies. That's Arsenal and Newcastle, because I really do feel that Newcastle, they're coming up, they're dangerous. And not only that they're dangerous, but they also have the money to back up whatever they want to do.
We have a lot of the ingredients to be a top 4 contender at bare minimum.
Exactly.
Possibly even a title contender. Look what Man City do. A strong home record. They beat everyone pretty much that they play against at home. Newcastle, under Eddie Howe, a lot of home games he's had since he joined in December. They've only lost 3.
Yeah. True.
That's what Man City did. So
exactly. So, guys in the chat, thank you for supporting this premiere today. Of course, you've just made me and Steve very, very happy. Thanks for your support, your comments, everything. Our members that came in today, Anthony Herbert, and Steve. Anthony Herbert, he runs a channel called Goonies from All Corners. He's an Arsenal fan.
Nice.
The way he talks football is a calm guy. The way he talks football, I like the way he talks football. He understands his football. And not only that, he's someone that respects other people's opinion. So I do see him as someone that you and him would really have a very, very good show together with him.
100%.
So since he runs that channel, I think you would have to, visit him and, have a show with him. It would be nice. So, I will link you guys up together. And if he wants you there, you could just chop it up with him, talk football with him. He's a great guy, Anthony Herbert. And you can add him on Instagram too. He's a very great guy. And apart from being my backer here, because he's also a member of my channel, he's a great guy at heart, and he always comes to support us all the time. So shout out to the Fear of Black London. God bless you, my brother. I see you. Boxai Shaku, God bless you. Andrew Bell, thanks for coming today. Anthony Herbert, thanks for the super chat. Thank you, brother. The United family, he will be back on, I think, on Wednesday. Ola should be back here for the rival show. That's one of the flagship shows I have here.
Yeah.
Um, on the message, J, thanks for coming. BX Guna 81, thanks for showing up. Craig AFC, Amy Baba, all these guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for just showing up. Chelsea Dan, Miss Melina, I won't forget you, of course. Miss Melina, thanks for showing up. And remember, we love you here, Miss Melina.
Yeah.
Joshua Bernard, thanks for coming to the show too. So all these guys, yeah, thanks. And join me and Steve next week. Of course, this series is here to stay. Join us, next Monday. As you know, of course, next Monday to be maybe around 1 hour 20 minutes. But this is the premiere, so you had to go to 2 hours. With that long
Yeah.
stretch. Tomorrow, guys, I'm bringing in a legitimate legend to the show. I'm bringing in Jez from the History of Arsenal channel. Yeah, so
I
Jez
love
is coming
him.
to.
I love
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Really,
yeah.
really good
Jez.
guy.
Yeah,
Never met him
I
before or
like Jez.
talked to him, but I love the way he's like old school mentality. He
Yeah,
doesn't bullshit anything.
it doesn't bullshit.
Straight,
He's a great guy.
he's a straight talker. Knows
Straight
his
talker
history.
too.
Loves his club.
He loves Arsenal.
Good
He,
guy.
he like Jez Collins genuinely loves Arsenal.
100%. No,
So
he is.
yeah,
He's a great.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
really like
genuinely
him.
loves Arsenal.
Good guest.
Yeah, he has his of course he has his own opinions about the way the club is being run right now. But of course, he's a fan of the club. He loves the club.
Yeah.
You've seen when the club has been in its glory days, and when you've seen such glory and you see the club go down the toilet, you won't be happy.
You
You want them to
question
win
why
trophies. You
that
question.
is. You're gonna
Exactly.
be like, what happened? And you
Exactly.
compare and
So
contrast to past, present. Yeah.
to past and present. So he'll be on the
Yeah.
show with us tomorrow. I'm bringing him down here. So I hope you guys will join us on in the Ryan and Claude show. The Ryan and Claude show is it's my most flagship show here, where me and my partner Ryan Maguire. Show up to the show and talk football. So he might join us tomorrow. I don't know of Maguire yet. I will confirm from him if he can make the show, because I don't know. It seems like he's overwhelmed with work at this time. But if he doesn't come, then Steve, you replace him
Of course.
at the time, because he's having work at this time. So I don't know. But anyway, Ryan, I hope Ryan will be on the show with us tomorrow. Of course.
Yeah.
To be the Ryan and Claude show, and
Yeah.
Jess Collins will be here tomorrow, 8 to 9 p.m. tomorrow. So please gear up for that one. And then on Wednesday, Ola of the United family will be back here with us. He's taking his leave because he hasn't been feeling quite fine. And of course, he just set up his own channel, the United family. So, of course, guys, if you love Ola and what he does here, you can actually go there and into the United family and add him up. He's a very great guy. He talks Manchester United. If you have a twitch in your knickers for something that comes from Manchester United, just go down there to all of the United family. He'll
100%.
do a great job for you guys. And then on Thursday, Manny will be coming back. Manny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manny is
Love
a great
Manny.
guy. Yeah, I have to bring in Manny. So me, Manny, and Deji Spores should also be around. So I don't know, Steve, if Manny doesn't make it on
Of
Thursday,
course.
you might have to come for that one. And then on Friday,
Yeah.
me, Steve, some other people will come up for the Premiership preview show, and let's just see what happens. And
Yeah.
guys, the World Cup will be coming in soon in the next 22 days. Me and Steve, will be giving you up to date roundup for
Yeah.
that. We'll set up something different for that, and
Yeah.
of course, me and Steve will be doing lots of watch along together with the
Sure.
match, guys. Yeah, if you've never seen Steve in a watch along before, guys, you're in for a shock. Steve will shock you when you see him doing a watch along. His celebrations, his passion. See, Steve is he's a footballing guy. He loves football. He loves soccer. So of course he supports other teams too, but his main team is Newcastle. But when you see him during watch alongs, and how he jumps up and support the team. I'll just leave it for you until we have a watch along together, so you would understand the fulcrum of
Yeah.
Steve Strasbourg. Steve, thank you for coming to the show, my brother.
Of course.
Guys, join us tomorrow, 8 to 9 p.m. as I welcome
Yes.
to the show a legend in the game.
100%.
Jez Collins is coming in, guys. I'm also looking into bringing Egal too, but let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 to 9 p.m., where the legendary Jez Collins comes to the show tomorrow. So join us tomorrow, 8 to 9 p.m. And Steve will also be coming to the show within the week also. You might even join us for the rival show. You might join us also for the rival show. It will be
We're
nice
with Jez whenever you need me. Whenever you need me.
Yeah, sure. All right, man. Thank you, guys. And Steve, thank you. And close the show for us.
Yeah, no, we had a great kickoff to the Guns and Mags podcast show, whatever the hell you want to call it. So looking forward to making many more episodes with you, my friend. Cheers to all the success that we're gonna have. We're working our asses off making content and thumbnails and interacting with people. Bro, all this hard work's gonna pay off. So
true.
And you know what, you guys from the start, big up. Thanks for the support and all that. So peace out.
Thanks. Peace out.